Hey everybody, welcome to the Buffalo Plus YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe, like, and comment. We appreciate it. Mike Catalana along with Dan Fetes. I don't know when you're watching this. Maybe you couldn't go to sleep after this mess. Maybe you woke up feeling like you had to hear something. Maybe it's 3 days later. But Dan, I tell you what, this is a game. It's the first time that it makes me really doubt overall where this team is in the 2021 season because they got pushed around.
I think the biggest insult to call a team is soft, and the Bills looked soft today. They didn't have it. They were expecting, Jen and I on Wednesday were up at practice, and we knew it was going to be a physical game. The team said they expected it. Jordan Poyer said they're going to be able to throw some punches. It's going to be a physical game, but we got to get back up and throw punches. There was no punch.
Yeah.
They kind of, I don't want to say rolled over, but they just kept getting punched is more of it.
Let's start with this defense. Okay, Star Lotulelei not there. Look, he's an important player. He's not that important. No Tremaine Edmonds. Yeah, they miss him out there, but they got pushed around. I know Jonathan Taylor is good. I think he's the best back in the league. Yeah. But Dan, you were on the field. He made it look easy today.
Over 6 yards a carry, just every single thing that he wanted to do and what this Colts offensive line wanted to do. And Sean McDermott is a guy we know prides himself on gap integrity and winning the line of scrimmage. The Bills were just completely pushed around, and that to me is a worrisome sign where you talk about having to play in the elements and all of these things and the weather as the cold weather as the season goes on. The Bills just have not looked on the defense, at least this week, like a playoff caliber team.
No, they didn't look that way. And yes, they've had other games where they played well. It's usually, it has been against the lesser opponents, except for Kansas City. But when I look defensively in this conference, when you look at the teams they could be playing, many of them are physical teams that can run the ball, including the team they're looking up at in the division.
Yeah, exactly. The Patriots now, but as well, like you said, you talk about the Titans. Sean McDermott said their worst two defensive performances this year probably been against the Titans and here against the Colts. And those are teams that are going to they're not going to surprise you, Mike.
Yeah.
That's what to me is very baffling, was the fact that we knew the Colts were going to come down here and try and run the ball right down your face, and they did it with will.
Yeah.
And to me, we've always talked about how when you can't stop the run, it's almost a shot to your ego. It's a shot to your pride because you don't want to just keep getting pushed around, and that's what it was today, and there was no battle back. There was no fight.
All right, so Dan has used the words pushed around twice. It's not his words. That was Sean McDermott's words. I think it strikes at his core to say that about one of his teams.
You remember last year you were asking him when the defense was really struggling and they finally started to turn it around, and you asked him, who's a defensive-minded coach, how much has it been hard for you to have a team that really, they were a middle-of-the-road defensive team, and they've always been a top team, top unit. And McDermott was like, yeah, thanks for the question. Like, it does hurt.
Yeah, well, he said you wouldn't want to be sitting next to me on the plane coming back, right? Because he's angry. He's an angry coach right now. That's the defense. Let's talk about the offense. I tried to ask Deion Dawkins, and he gave me an answer trying to be upbeat as best you could after this. I want to know, does this team have an identity on offense? I really don't think they do right now. I mean, yes, there are times when Josh can throw the ball and they make plays to Stephon Diggs, and it happens. But last year, that's who they were. They were a dominant passing game. They moved the ball at will. They could score almost any time.
Yeah.
That team's not existing right now.
No, and this goes back to what they've done things very well, but now there's so much more film on them, and it seems like they keep trying to go back to the well, and it's not there. And teams are making adjustments, and right now, over the last 5 games, they haven't been able to make enough adjustments to win games when they need to.
Oh, and then special teams chipped in. I mean, look, Tyler Bass has been great since he's been with his team. Rough day today. What was your thought on him kicking the field goal when they were down? What was it at that time? 24-7.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm wrapping up. We're working on a story with Tyler Bass, and it just hasn't come out yet. We're working on it. And so I'm getting shots of Tyler Bass pregame, and he's kicking towards that away from the tunnel at the end of pregame. Missed 5 out of 6. Finished up like that. Very upset at himself. Was missing him right. Was missing them left. Heath Farwell was kind of coming over to him like, "Hey man, like it's fine." Like, that was the end he missed 2 kicks to.
Yeah.
It was just kind of that sense. I didn't tweet it out, I didn't say anything, but it was just one of those things where I looked at it and I went like, that
because we don't see that.
You don't see that. And like I said, Bass makes kicks all the time. Sean McDermott said the first one was 56 yards. He had the leg. It didn't make it. He goes, and obviously the other one, Sean was trying to cut it to a 2-score game from 17 down to 14. Didn't work. He goes, he'll make the next one.
I think that's more of the issue. It's playing a little scared. I mean, you're going for the field goal to cut it to 14. I don't know. At that point, I might have taken my chance and gone for it. But look, That didn't cost them the game. The Isaiah McKenzie turnover, look, they got blown out, but that was a soul-crushing turnover.
Exactly, because you had a little bit of hope that if the Bills could string one drive together there at the end of half, they could double dip when they get the ball to start third quarter. And they've been really good coming out of halftime.
Yeah.
The offense has, putting drives together and kind of, putting their stamp on the game. They did it in Miami. They did it against the Jets. They fumble. The Colts score. They go 3 and out, and the rest of the game was I had said that game had the intensity of a week 3 of the preseason.
Yeah.
By the end of it, they had gotten pushed around. The Bills looked again. Sideline wasn't into it. It just kind of was one of those games that really got away. And while the Bills keep saying like, "Oh, it's just one game," or "That's not us," you are what you put out on the field.
Yeah.
And they haven't won 2 games in a row since they went to Kansas City and won.
Yeah.
So they're going over a month without winning back-to-back games. Josh said it's not time to panic. I bet you watching are starting to.
Well, I'm worried about this team now. I mean, the Jacksonville game was alarming because that's a bad team. They went on the road, played lousy. I think if they played Jacksonville 100 times, they'd beat them 98.
Yeah.
All right, they already lost the one. I'm going to throw one more in there. The way the Colts beat them, I'm not saying every game would be a blowout like this one. The Colts, that physical nature of the team, the Bills cannot at the moment respond to that. And it's really a problem. Yeah, you get the offensive lineman back. Maybe you get some other guy. Yeah, all that's the case. But what concerns me is this will happen again with the way this team is playing.
Teams now know what the Bills are, and that's the thing. The Colts didn't come in here and all of a sudden play bully ball while they're this finesse team. They said, we're going to come in here and try and punch you in the face. And they did it. And they pushed them around when the Bills knew it was coming. That's concerning to me, that you knew what this team was going to try and come in and do. They didn't try and do, this wasn't trick plays. This wasn't catching them off guard. This is what we're going to do. Stop it. And the Bills couldn't.
Yeah. And so now they're behind the Patriots, and they deserve to be behind them. New England's been playing great. What have they won? 5 in a row.
5 in a row.
The Bills have been struggling. Now, look, the season is not over, okay? You can still win the AFC East. There's a lot of things that are still out there. You've got 2 games with the Patriots. All these things that you need to do are out there. But this team has put themselves in a position to be doubted. And I'm wondering if something internally is going to change. Again, I tried to ask Josh Allen, I don't know, is there team meetings? Do you take it upon yourself? Go ahead and blame the coaches. Say it was Daboll's fault. Say it was McDermott's fault. Say it's Leslie Frazier's fault. Go ahead and say all that. It comes down to the players. I'm wondering if they all get together at some point or the veterans go around and say, this is not who we are. They're saying it to us. Or are they saying it to each other?
There has to be conversations behind closed doors, and Josh hinted at that.
Yeah.
Josh said we're going to keep all of those options and all those things internal, and that's fine, and that's the way that this team goes about their business. But we saw it a week before where Sean McDermott started to get angry almost during his press conferences, and he was sending a message to his team. I think it was after the Jacksonville loss.
Yeah.
He was very stern. Not saying there's chinks in the armor, but there is real concern that, well, Josh says they're not panicking. There is a sense of urgency now. And Micah Hyde said, well, we always have to have a sense of urgency. And Micah Hyde even said, whatever questions you guys are going to ask us, you already know the answers to. Fair.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean we're not going to ask them, and it doesn't mean that those answers can't be legit.
Yeah. I want to see a little anger. I want to see somebody blow up a little bit. I mean, not to cause problems. They don't need to be the bickering Bills. But I want to see a little bit of something different. Look, I don't want to make anybody feel bad, but Dan and I are heading to New Orleans. So the weather's going to change. It's going to be Thanksgiving. Maybe that'll be a tipping point for them. Maybe they find something in New Orleans, in a dome where it's nice and warm.
Yes.
That's not so bad. We'll be spending our Thanksgiving down there. We'll have complete coverage while we're down there, and we're going to be on live. We'll let you vent. Wednesday at 6:45, live from New Orleans. Thursday, Thanksgiving night, live at 6:45, Buffalo Plus Live. We'll be down there. Jen will be back in studio, and we can let everybody vent and get ready.
Perfect.
Sounds good, Bourbon Street?
Sounds good.
We could use that tonight.
Yeah.
All right, that's going to do it for us. Again, make sure to subscribe, like, and comment. We appreciate it. For Jenna, back at 13 Wham Studios, and for Dan Fetes, I'm Mike Catalana. Thanks for watching here on Buffalo Plus.
We were still good,
Yeah.